Okay, let's get started on some work. I'm going to log into JIRA and look at my Agile Scrum board. I see that I have a new issue in my to-do list. Clicking on it, I can take a closer look at what's going on in this issue. Now let's move the issue to in progress and take a deeper look into the issue. From here, I can create a new branch to start working on this issue. This takes me out to Stash, where I can see I'm going to create a new branch off the release branch. It pre-populates the name of my branch with the name of the JIRA ticket. This takes me to Stash, where I can see my new branch was created in my project. The creation of this new branch tells my continuous integration server to create a branch of its own. Looking at Bamboo, I can see that in my project there's a new branch that matches the one that was created from JIRA. It has already started to build the tests from the master branch. I can also link this branch up to my JIRA ticket. Now let's look at the progress of how these tests are going. I have two different jobs, one for iOS 7 and one for iOS 6. Looking at the logs, I can see the progress of my tests. We have a successful build against iOS 6 and iOS 7. Looking back at my JIRA ticket, I can see that my branch build was linked to my JIRA ticket. Now let's start developing. I can add in some development code. And as a good developer should, I'm going to locally run my unit tests. I can see that all my tests are starting to run and are coming back green. Now that my test suite is finished, let's commit this code to my Git repository. Add in my JIRA ticket, add a comment telling what's been done. Now let's push it out to the main repository. Looking at my JIRA ticket, I can see that my commits are already linked to this issue. If we go out to Bamboo, we can see that my Bamboo branch is already picked up on my code changes. The new changes are currently being tested. From here we can see the full commit history, as well as the JIRA issue that they're linked to. This gives us full traceability back to the project. My tests were successful, so now I know it's time to resolve this issue. Let's add a fixed version number and a comment about what we did. Now let's look at the full commit message in Stash. From here we can see all the code changes in line with the rest of the code. From this screen we can also see that there's a build link to this code change and that it is currently running successful. Also there's a link to the JIRA issue that spawned this code change, as well as the branch that it was committed on. Let's create a pull request. We can select the branch we want to merge, and based on that branch we can see that it pre-populated the title and the description. Now let's add some reviewers to look at the code before it gets submitted to the main branch. From the project view, we can see all open pull requests. This includes the pull request number, the person that made it, the reviewers, the source of the code change, and where it's going. As a reviewer, we can see that we have a new pull request message in our inbox. From here, we can look at all the differences that made to the code. If a reviewer has questions or concerns about a particular piece of code, they can add a comment directly to the line in question. If a reviewer wants to leave an overall comment about the project, this can be done from the summary page. Developers have the ability to reply directly to the reviewer's comments. Once all code changes have been reviewed, the reviewer can choose whether to merge the pull request into the designated branch. From this screen, we can see where the branch is going to be merged into, and we can choose to delete the branch after merging. Now we can go to our JIRA ticket and progress it through its workflow. From here, I can go from the resolve state to the QA state without leaving stash. Going back to the JIRA ticket, I can now see the pull request. I can also see any builds linked to this ticket by clicking on the Builds tab. Currently, there are two builds related to this ticket, one for our build branch and the other one is testing our merged code in the release branch. We can see that our merged code is testing successfully. If we look at all the build plans in our project, we can see that in addition to our unit test plan, we also have a build and release plan. This plan includes a distribution plan to deploy our code to various systems. The distribution can be run manually or by releasing a version in JIRA. Since all of our development is complete, let's release this version of our project. If we go out to our project summary page, we can see all the currently supported versions of our project. From the Manage Version screen, we can choose to release a particular version. I can simply choose to release a version or to release it and kick off a Bamboo build. I can select the build I want to run and choose to overwrite any of the project's properties associated with that build. Our build and release plan automatically updates the app with the version number from JIRA, packages it, adds our provisioning profile, commits the new version number to the repository, and pushes the new version number out to our developers. Once the build plan completes successfully, it automatically deploys the app to test flight. This deployment configures permissions to the app and notifies any users that a new build is available. From here, we see that our test flight deployment is currently in progress, and if we click on the link on the deployment details, we can see that our app has been successfully deployed. If we go out to test flight, you can see that a new version of the app has been deployed and that the release notes contain links back to the Bamboo plan that created it, as well as the link to all the JIRA issues resolved in this build. From the release version page, I have direct links to the build that was created. Going back to our JIRA tickets, we see all the phases of deployment linked to this issue and what the builds deployed them. Looking at the deployment summary, we have a full traceability of the deployment, including the deployment status, the code commits, the linked JIRA issues, and the properties used. As a tester, I get notified that a new build is ready for testing, and I can click on the release notes links to see more information about the build I'm testing. With my new feature in place, I can install my app, go to the settings screen, and see what version of the app I'm testing against. Now I have full traceability of my project. I know what issues were worked on, that my code changes were properly reviewed, the code was merged and unit tested successfully, and when and how it was deployed to testers.